This is part 2 of the SL-C9UB Betamax video recorder video on getting the front loading system working and then checking the rest of the machine. As you'll remember, it was a really tidy machine with the later upper drum, and but one of the gears was missing off the front loading system, and I glued replacement gears on, aftermarket gears from which I bought on eBay actually, as it happens. So they're on and they seem to be working, but it seems we have another problem, possibly what eventually caused the gears to break. Someone getting a bit carried away trying to push a tape in and just broke the gears, the already fragile gears. So I've already checked, and it looks like one of the micro switches is actually open circuit. It's not working. So here's a donor unit. I believe these are working, but as we'll go through it, I'll check them. So how it works: you push a tape in. This is from the front of the machine. You push a tape in here, and it pushes. We can see that these two little parts here, and those parts, if I swing that round, push against this here and actuate, or unactuate if you like, this little micro switch. So you can see the switch opens. I assume it's open. Now, quite unusual for 1982. It's actually on like a flexi board, which is actually quite cool. And then the cable is actually soldered on, and this is a heat shrink on here, and then it runs through here to here, meets the other cable coming out from the other switch, the switch each side, and goes to this board here, the RL4 board, where basically there's a cable. Then this cable then goes back to where the loading motor board is, and then to the machine, and it signals when a tape is inserted, so it can drive the motor. The way it works is it's in a series circuit, so both switches need to activate for it to actually send voltage down this 2-core sort of mini figure of 8 cable. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, let's just test these switches, and it'll be interesting to see if they're normally open or normally closed. I should know that really, because I've done enough of these. It's one of those things again where you just sort of like do these things and don't really think about it until you do a YouTube video. So you can see the grey lead comes around here, it goes to the board here. So these two bottom bits solder. We'll find out which one the cable is on. Oh, there's actually resistance there. That's interesting. I might have a look at the circuit diagram for that. I think I've been here before, and I think there is a resistor on the board, but yeah, it's not just simply shorting it out. So let's get this apart. So I'm not going to strip it completely down, but I do need to strip this most of the way down, to be fair, to get the basket out. One thing I'm going to do before I do anything else, there's a little clip that goes onto the tape opening arm, which in turn clips onto the actual basket, and I do need to take that apart. So let's use a little flat blade screwdriver to gently remove that and drop that down. So this all gets a bit exciting. So the next thing now is to gosh, that's tight. Take out the screws that hold the left-hand side as you would look at the machine of the assembly to the front of the assembly, and then take off that spring. Actually, I don't think you need to take that one off. It's this one you have to take off, because that one stays. That one stays with that assembly, so you don't. I don't think you need to take that off. I've done loads of these, but I still can never really remember everything. I suppose there's a lot to it. Pull these out, and what I'm going to do, I think, is take these off. So left side, I'll put on the left, facing from the front. Right side, gear falling off, that's fine, don't worry about that. Okay, so there's the switch. Now you can see there is some varnish there. It'll be calibrated so it actuates at the right time. The tape has to be fully in. So we'll have to sort that out as we go along. And it's very tight. To be fair, it's probably not helped by the varnish. There we go. Just has to crack. And I think if I take that spring off there, I'm really good at dropping things. It's really not what you want. Sometimes I spend more time looking for stuff than I do actually repairing it. So there it is. I'm just going to go straight in there with some solder braid. Just my voice there for a second. Try and be fairly quick. So there it is. Now I think this just pulls out, sort of. See, it just pulls off. And then this is the bad one. Oh, that's just broken. Okay. It's obviously quite brittle. So, we'll have to go to plan B. Now, a question I ask myself is, do I just take the whole lot off? I need a couple of cable ties. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do, to be honest. Let's take the whole lot off. Because that way I can keep things a bit more original. Although that's not as easy as it sounds. Because does that move enough to allow me to get that cable? Oh, probably. Oh, why not, eh? It's all the fun, isn't it? Drop the screwdriver. So I'm just moving these metal tabs back. Yeah, it was funny. I was on a website for a pretty well-known group, electronic device seller in the UK, and they still list this, the front carriage for a C9 as a part. And it was 119 quid, I think it was, which actually isn't too bad. Anyway, I thought, well, just for the fun of it, I'll add it to the basket and let's see what happens when I go to check out. Out of stock. I thought that was quite funny, really. It's funny that they still list it. Cutters. The only slight thing with this is I think I've only got black cable ties left, so it won't be quite as original as I'd like. But never mind. And then we reckoned it was those two. To keep the lengths right, I'm actually going to desolder them rather than just cut them. So pull that through. Indeed, they will pull through, but they should do. Of course, the fun part's going to be putting the other ones back through, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Okay. So there's the original switch. Now, I think I'm going to leave that on there and use this one again, the old one. That washer's dropped off now anyway, so never mind. So okay, so let's one of these should be there we go. So that pin there, first pin, one closest to that, is oh god, I'm going to break that if I'm not careful. Is common, normally closed, goes open when I press it down. Normally open, goes open when I open it. Lovely. So that's working. So the next thing is to these black cables. Retrieve this out of here. And I have to say, part of me was very tempted. Shall we have a look? Shall we have a look at what's under here? And see if we can maybe solder this on. Because I'm making a lot of extra work for myself otherwise, aren't I? Which might be completely pointless. And again, my fear is, obviously this board's fairly fragile, that I am going to damage the board. I think I've got a heat shrink of a suitable size for this as well, so maybe interesting. I mean, to be fair, I don't think it would have been the end of the world just to run cable straight to it. And it's a lovely idea doing this. But is it a bit over the top maybe? I don't know. There's obviously no polarity there, so I can just whip them off, and I think I'm going to try that first. Put that with that. And a bit of clean up. Oh, don't really want to strain it any more than I have to. Oh, that's looking a bit damaged actually. There's a hole. Excellent. Okay. So, probably going to have to take this out a bit anyway. There's no real sweat. Like so. I can afford to be a bit more rough with this because I only want the cable. And solder that. Asbestos fingers. Well, this is a fun way to do it, isn't it? I've never done it this way before, so I've always just changed the switch off a donor. I would suggest it's probably quite easy to get the switches. It's like the loading switches, the loading ring switches. You can still get those to fit, modern equivalents to fit. Oh, it's a bit nasty this. I wonder if I put that better one in, the one that's a bit more fragile. Yeah, that seems to work. Do it without putting it out. Help. Actually, I wonder if I can just tidy it up. Put a spike of solder or something on there. Yeah, that's done it. It's just finding a way of getting it to... Sorry about my solder. The end broke off about 10 years ago and I've never got around to respooling it. Terrible that I haven't damped the sponge. Ow. It's the thing with solder, it's hot. Well, that's actually on. There we go, and properly in. I'm hoping once I pull this up, put that on, shrink it, it'll be good. close to it there, but it's fine. At the end of the day, it just needs to keep the cables tidy, out of harm's way. Hopefully this will all be good. I'm just wasting my time doing that. Yeah, it's looking good. So it goes back in there. Carefully just lift that back up. And what I'm doing, I can't show you on the camera very easily, to be fair, but I'm just taking the cable went slack that runs under here, so I'm just pulling that just very, very gently back into position. That's looking fairly hopeful. Because we have got the problem of calibration, but we should be alright with that. And top bit goes in to a little locating little ridge somewhere. Where did that washer that fell off go? There. Let's move my untidy soldering out of the way. So, screw back in. Spring back on. Yeah, so that's too big at the moment. That gap's too big. It needs to just actuate it right at the end of the travel. Okay, so adjusted that, so it's just, put the spring back on, so it just actuates right at the end of its travel. So I noticed there's actually a little bit of excess grease on that. Not quite where that's come from, because I've not actually put any on this myself. Anyway. Just getting any stickiness off there as well. For what it's worth. Right, so let's get this back together. So I'm actually quite pleased with that. It wasn't quite as painful as it could have been. I think if I'd done it the full cable way, then that might not have been quite so good. I don't think it would have worked out quite so nice then. So again, something I can't show you very easily, but I'm just putting the rods, all three locating rods. Is that right? Yes, it is. So two go into the basket lowering side of things, and I need to find where the actual arm is that pulls this all down. So that locates in, which it has, and then the tape opening lever that sort of goes up here, but it will float about, so don't worry about that now. We'll put that on right at the end, and then this side, put all the plastic little bits on. Oops. And again, locate those. These aren't quite so fussy. Oh, can you spot this deliberate mistake? You have to move the loading arm a little bit, because it is a bit flexible. That should go somewhere in there. Like I said, I'm not going to worry too much about the alignments at this stage, because it will be wrong. It will be wrong, just accept that it will be wrong. Then put the spring back on, which again, not the easiest thing to show you. Oops. And I'll be doing some tweezers to do that. But yeah, it's just the spring for that door. Quite sure what that's doing at the moment. I think I might have somehow twisted the spring. It's easily done, to be honest. We've done this sort of thing. So now come all the way out again. And these front portions go in front of the side, loading mechanism side portion. Making it look a lot trickier to use a screwdriver than it actually is, just so I can point it somewhere towards you guys. And get it so the arm is actually, there we go, arm was slightly trapped. As you can see, that is way out. So let's correct that. And this side's actually come out as well, which I half expected. Just going to wind the mechanism up a bit, just to make it a bit easier. There we go, let's just clip straight in. So yeah, that's looking pretty good. Let's move that down a bit. That's looking in place. That's looking fairly lined up, fairly well lined up. But we can put it back together. And then fine tune it once it's all back together. I'm not too worried about it, to be honest. Ooh. I think I might have just made that worse. Just put these to one side. I thought it was a damaged cable, it's not, it's just a bit sticky. Bring that round there. Like so. And the screw I'm just going to put in loosely because I'm going to need to wind this by hand. And demonstration there of what happens when you don't push this flat back, so it won't go past. Yeah, so yeah, it's all looking good. And so I'll put this back on. Now I'm happy. And then, oh, of course, that would have to fall in there, wouldn't it? So the arm. For the tape lift. Now the problem with that is it needs to be in the down position before you can really properly get to where the clip and the little white guide assembly bit of plastic goes. That's actually really true. I'm very pleased with that. So see if I can do this and show you at the same time. Probably not. So you can see the white bit on there, maybe. And then you can just press these plastic little bits back on there. So that's looking fantastic. Keep those little bits because you never know. That's really for that, isn't it? Not convinced that's going to really work very well, but anyway. Oh, it's eager. I don't actually hear the relay. Oh, there we go. The relay's just clicked for the end. So let's try just a tape in there. Let's get one out of my 100. Yeah, always winds back. Yeah, you see that? That's not ideal. Yeah, that to me doesn't feel quite right, but that's okay. What you can do is you can either adjust the switch, micro switch for the end, or you can ever so slightly bend the other direction, little thing that pushes this up, the little tab. Showed you on the first video where that is. And it's just ever so slightly fouling it. Actually, it isn't straight, so that'll be it. So let's take that out. I'll try doing this at the far end, which is not really the best way to do it, but no, I'm not going to do it at the far end. Let's wind it in a bit. Yeah, I can see that's a bit out actually. Now. Better late than never. Put the screw back in because we don't want to knock anything at a time. That's it, that's the end. Oh, that's perfect, look. So that's how it should be. The springs will push the tape out. These aren't holding the tape at all. If it's not doing that, then you know you've got an alignment issue. So that's the end of part 2 of this video. I'm going to put the front loading mechanism back in, and we'll test the machine, and take it from there. hopefully the machine itself shouldn't be too bad. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.